Razer sent over their Seiren V3 Chroma USB microphone for me to check out and show you how it works. This thing's got a lot of useful features for gamers, streamers, and content creators, and I'm going to show you how to set it up properly to make sure you're getting the most out of it. But before we do any of that, can we talk about how good the lighting looks on this thing? Like, it looks amazing, and it's going to look super good anytime it shows up in your content. The Seiren V3 Chroma is designed to be plug and play for easy setup. So right away, straight out of the box, it's almost ready to go. All you got to do is attach it to the stand, or a boom arm if you have one, and plug it into your computer. It comes with a nice braided USB-A to USB-C cable. The USB-C goes into the mic, and the USB-A goes to your PC. As far as the physical hardware setup goes, that's all there is to do. It's super simple. The mic body's plastic, except for the grill, that's metal. The base of the stand's also metal, and it's a nice quality Yoke type stand. It does a good job keeping the mic in place on your desk and allows for some positional adjustments. You can tilt it up and down and adjust the tension with the little knobs on the sides. The bottom has a 5/8 thread mount for compatibility with other stands or boom arms, so you're not locked into the stand that comes with it. There's a volume or gain knob on the front. It's super helpful to make quick adjustments without tabbing out of your game. There's a 3.5mm jack around back next to the USB-C port, and if you plug a pair of headphones in there, it'll let you monitor your audio. Synapse lets you set the output volume and the side tone level so you can hear yourself in real time. And finally, we have a tap to mute button on top. I can't stress enough how important this feature is. If you're recording or streaming and something comes up that you don't want to capture, like your wife yelling at you to stop gaming, that happens to me all the time, then it's so easy to engage the mute function. Plus, the lighting turns red to let you know you're muted, and actually you can change that to whatever color you want. So it's super obvious when you're muted, and you shouldn't forget to unmute when you're ready to go live again. Without this little button, you'd have to tab out of your game and mute through the software app or the Windows sound settings. No thanks. And not only that, but you can also map its double and triple tap commands to adjust the lighting effects and toggle the mic's digital gain limiter. We'll talk more about what that does later. Once you get the mic set up, you're going to want to download and install Razer Synapse if you don't have it already. And the first thing you should do is set the sample rate to the highest available setting, which is 96 kHz. That's going to make sure you're recording the highest quality audio possible. And speaking of quality, this is a 24-bit microphone. What that basically means is the audio coming from here is going to have a lower noise floor and a much higher dynamic range compared to microphones that use 16-bit. Lower noise and a wider range of volumes means 24-bit audio recording is a lot more flexible for editing and processing, which is important for content creators. If you want to double check that you're getting 24-bit, you can go into your Windows sound settings, scroll down to Input, click on the arrow to open up the settings for the mic, and you can see the bit depth and sample rate right there under Format. Next, you need to set your gain or volume. I like to set mine so the loudest sound will just barely reach the end of the yellow section on the meter. This way I know the audio is not going to start clipping when things get loud, and as long as I'm talking normally and not raging, everything should stay in the green zone, which is what we want. The lighting's powered by Razer Chroma. You can use Synapse to get it all set up, or jump into the Chroma app where you can apply effects to all your Razer devices at the same time with one click. There's a lot of different effects and settings to choose from. It can be reactive to your voice. That's what this one looks like. The brightness goes up and down with the volume of my voice. Looks pretty cool. You can also set it up to react to events in your game. This feature is currently supported by over 300 games. And if you're into the Razer ecosystem and you've got other Razer Chroma products in your setup, you can sync them all up together. Here's the Seiren V3 Chroma along with the Black Widow V4 Pro, Basilisk V3, Leviathan X, Firefly Pro, Kraken V4, and the Raptor gaming monitor. Plus, it can also react to streaming events like emotes or new subs through the Streamer Companion app. To set it up, go over to Connections and link your streaming account. I've got my Twitch account linked on here. Then you can go over to Alerts and toggle it on for whatever events you want. We'll turn on Follows, click Add Device, select Seiren V3 Chroma. Then we can pick the effect we want for this alert and then set the duration for how long it'll play for. Now if we click Test, it'll show us what that's going to look like every time someone follows. It's a pretty cool feature. You can use this, spice up your stream a little bit. And you can do this with more than one Razer device, not just the mic. The actual microphone capsule in here is a condenser type, and that means it's going to have lower self noise and higher sensitivity compared to a dynamic microphone. The pickup pattern's Supercardioid, which has a very tight on-axis focus with reduced sensitivity at the sides and some at the rear. That helps capture more detail in your voice and helps to reduce other sounds that you don't want getting into your audio, like from your keyboard or your mouse, or if you're like me, 13 fans running inside your PC. So with all that in mind, when you're setting up the Seiren V3 Chroma or any other Supercardioid microphone, your goal is to get it into a position that's as direct on axis as possible. Basically, you want the front of the microphone facing your mouth or as close to it as possible without getting in the way of your mouse or keyboard or blocking the view of your monitor. That's what you're trying to do. If you have a boom arm, this is a lot easier to accomplish because of the extra versatility that it adds. You don't have to worry about bumping into your mouse or keyboard because it's not physically sitting on your desk. And because I can get it so close to my mouth when it's up here on the boom arm, that means I can lower the gain, which is going to translate into better, clearer sounding audio because lower gain means it's going to pick up less noise. Plus, it has the advantage of helping isolate it from some of those vibration sounds that can make their way up into your audio when you're banging around on your desk with your keyboard and stuff. Here's what this setup sounds like if I start typing and clicking the mouse. If you're using the stand, things start to change a little bit. Now you got the mic sitting right on your desk where it can more easily get bumped, or it can pick up more of those vibration sounds if you're banging on your keyboard and making a lot of noise here. It does have a built-in shock absorber, but if you're really raging and hitting stuff on your desk, it's gonna pick that stuff up no matter what. The most ideal spot for this in terms of sound quality is gonna be right here in front of the keyboard. It's a direct line pickup. I have to tilt it up a bit so that it's facing my mouth, but other than that, like, I'm talking directly into that supercardioid pattern, which is what you want. And I've got the mouse and keyboard off axis, so there should be some sound suppression on those things happening there. And I would say if you don't have a boom arm, this is probably the next best option for you. Here's what it sounds like if I start typing and clicking the mouse. Now I've got the mic pushed off to the side over here, and I'm doing this because it's a realistic setup that some people are gonna find they really need to use because it gets the mic completely out of your face. It's out of your field of view. I can see the monitor, I can see my keyboard, my mouse, my desk, everything. From a practical perspective, this setup actually makes a lot of sense, but it's not the best in terms of sound quality for two reasons. The first is I'm no longer talking directly into that supercardioid pattern. I'm off axis. Plus, the distance between my mouth and the microphone is a lot greater than when it was up here on the boom arm or sitting right in front of me on the desk. That means I'm going to have to turn up the gain to get the volume levels the same as the other two setups. And when you add more gain, you pick up more noise. Plus, the microphone's now facing the noisy stuff, the mouse and the keyboard, so it's going to pick up more of that. Here's what typing and mouse clicking sounds like. Even though this setup isn't the best in terms of quality, it's still usable. It doesn't completely destroy your audio quality. So if you can handle some keyboard and mouse sounds getting into your recordings or your live stream, you can totally use this setup and still sound pretty good. Another cool feature on here is the digital gain limiter. If you enable advanced gain settings in Synapse, a couple buttons will appear. There's auto gain control and digital gain limiter. You can use the gain limiter to prevent your audio from peaking or clipping if things start to get a little too loud. I'll show you how it works. You might want to turn your volume down for this because things are about to get loud. Seiren V3 Chroma with gain limiter turned on means no audio clipping. You can tell that's going to be a helpful feature because it can save your audio during a live stream where you're not going to be doing any post-production adjustments afterwards. And I should also mention, even if you're not using the gain limiter, you can turn on peaking indicator in the lighting tab and it's going to flash a color at you when your audio starts to peak, so you'll know right away if your levels are set too high. There's also a stream mixer built right into Synapse. You can add all the different inputs you want and then dial in the exact amount of volume for each one. So maybe I want to bring my voice chat up, my game volume up, turn down system sounds, and make sure the music's not too loud or distracting. I like this feature. It gives me the opportunity to change all my different volume levels together in one place so that I can get everything sounding the way that I want it without having to jump into a whole bunch of different apps and adjusting things separately. It's very convenient. Overall, the Seiren V3 Chroma is a feature-packed USB microphone with tons of customization and versatility for gaming, streaming, and content creation. If you know how to use it properly, you're gonna be able to get really good sounding audio, and it's gonna look awesome at the same time. If you're interested in picking one of these up, check the description. I'll have some purchasing links and some more details about the microphone down there for you. And I'll also provide some links for this entire Razer setup that I have here so you can see what all those different products are and check those out if you're interested as well. Give the video a thumbs up and get subscribed on your way out, and we'll see you soon.